The next session is by Mr. Gaurav Markan, Manager Marketing, Product, B2B Business and Strategic Alliances, Canon India, and topic is Excellence in Cinema and Broadcasting. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you very much for being with us for this quick session. So keeping a very hard stop of 20 minutes. So I'll just quickly wanted to take you on the subject excellence in cinema today. So principally, we wanted to show that how Canon has evolved. With its complete journey. Over the past, especially the 1 decade of that we have come across right from the inception of cinema A.B.I.S. and how we have grown up and where we are today. So I think when we pass on my slides, I think I will interact and it will be easier to understand. So very first thing, so we would like to first thank you, all our customers all over the country, that we have completed successful 25 years of Canon in India. So CIPL is now 25 years old, in the system, and so we are glorified with this silver jubilee of ours. So thank you very much for being great support. So that's the very first thing we wanted to start off with. So while Canon has a very, sometimes we get very different dynamics of understanding of Canon being a great camera giant company, and that's what has been the image, but that's not where it ends. So for a very quick glimpse of it, that Canon has got 4 of its very major businesses. That's, of course, imaging is one of it, but imaging is scaled down to a lot of fields, right from opticals to sensor to devices and clouds, and even the AI technology, to printing, which is a very, very big solution segment of Canon, right from compact consumer printers to the large format printers for industrial solution printing. Medical is a very big field which we have started now in India, and we are growing in a very fast pace. Some of our products like CT scanners and MRIs are being very, very popular in the country now. And of course, a lot of industrial products that we make, which is part of the larger ecosystem like semiconductors itself, which I don't think we need to introduce about semiconductors at all. Everybody knows the importance of it. So Canon is a valuable contributor in that, along with the OLED technology that you see all over. So we are at many of our operations, we don't take the front seat, but we are very strongly present out there. That's the very first thing to give a glimpse of it. Besides that, so it's also important to understand how Canon is evolving for future. So some of the things specifically, in the field of, SPAT technology, which is the single photon avalanche diode, that Canon is now working, and in the development of this, which is going to be the world's first 1 megapixel SPAT, which is directly going to actually work on the value of photons for the sensor. That is something going to be very, very futuristic when it comes to imaging, technology. The MR, we have all been hearing about, of course, AI as in, technology, and VR, which is a very in thing now. But the blend of both makes it MR, which is the situation of the mixed reality. So Canon is developing devices and content, around this subject, and the volumetric video, studio solutions. This is something which is going to be very, very powerful, especially some of the events like sports in India, especially like cricket. So it will not be just virtual, it's going to be real time. That a very simple example of an volumetric video would be that in future, if there is a shot of a 6, like in the stadium, and you want to see the entire ball from not just 1, 2, or 3 angles, but 360 in real time live, so that is going to be is something that Canon has been already working, and we are very, very progressive in this. So when it comes to imaging, so our sensors are not going to be in terms of direct. So the excellence itself is expanding to a very, very wide spectrum, that Canon is working on. Even on the new frontiers, we are working very, very strongly, on the satellite developments, the production and launching of Canon's own space business, so I think that's in itself. So we are working very strongly on the spaceships now, and this is something that is coming in a very, very stronger way. We have been doing in collaboration with a lot of, associations worldwide, which is very, very confidential. But yes, now we're coming to the very, very big step in this space as well. The 8K visuals, as a solution. We have been all hearing about 4K, but now, of course, the 8K is the next big thing that Canon is very, very strongly working as a visual solutions. And also, not anymore the 3D prototypes in terms of when it comes to designs, whether it's cameras, mobiles, like car manufacturers or any product that you call it for, the ceramic material can make is something that Canon is now working to have 3D printing solution of actual products, not prototypes. So which is going to be very, very high premium quality products that you can actually create the product itself and not just a prototype. So this is just to give a glimpse that when it comes to our understanding and our way of working in imaging, it is very, very wide and very, very giant. So just wanted to touch up that how in terms of the cinema, it's not just the cameras directly, but also wider way we are working to bring the industry ecosystem. So Canon is very progressively now moving toward solutions and not products. So that's what is the major move that we are working on. So when it comes to excellence in video technologies, specific starting with cameras, so Canon is very clearly bifurcated with, of course, with its now wide range of cinema cameras, like the pro camcorders, which are our ENG, as well as our documentaries. Of course, a very, very wide segment into vlogging, as well as, of course, into wedding segments. Like DSLRs, I don't think we need to give any introduction. They have been very, very popular in many applications. But mirrorless, of course, is something that is now growing very, very fast. We have a very wide range of mirrorless series now, of course, in our system, as well as the cinema. And of course, the remote camera system, that was a very new introduction. If you guys get a chance to visit the Canon booth, you will see all of them, it's a new picture in 2022 of Canon. Many people have said that we never knew that so many range have increased in Canon. And we have also introduced the remote camera system, which is right there, at the Canon for you to experience. So over a long journey of the last 1 decade, the system has evolved right from the first launch in 2011 end with C300, following up with C100, 500 and 1DC in 2012, C100 Mark II in 14, C300 Mark II, which got very, very popular worldwide in many broadcasting applications. It's being still very popular with its latest version. And of course, the C700 in the full frame format, first it came in the Super 35, followed by the C200, which was in 2017, 18, we got the full frame version, C500 Mark II, where we also started to have a kind of a full stop that you don't need additional or separate recorders anymore. You can do that right inside the camera with its raw format, which was the introduction of full frame. And that's what everybody is talking, in the broadcasting and cinema industry, or the full frame formats. And C300 Mark III, which is presently, and C70, which came parallel to it. And all the cameras that you see on the screen, right from 18 to current till date, all our Netflix approved camera, and of course, our 5C was a very, very decent introduction to the ecosystem, as you can see in the last, it's easier, which is the first 8K introduction with the raw inbuilt. And I think we have a backlog and waiting for another 8 months, so we have been still fulfilling the orders of this, and not just in India, but I think all over the world, so it's been picked up very, very well in the compact hybrid format. So today where we talk, it's not just the cameras. I think glass, the eye, which has been very, very important right from very, more than I would say 6 to 7 decades of experience of Canon. The glass experience is something which is very, very strong. And today we stand with a huge variety of 36 cinema lenses, which comes in diversified from EF technology to the, if you see on the top, on the bottom right, to PL block lenses, to Cine Servo series, to Cine Primes, and of course to the Cinema Zoom, to the Cine servers as well. And in 2022, which is just yesterday, we have also announced the first 8K full frame Cine Zoom, short zooms as well, which is called the Cine Flex. So that has immediately picked up from its announcement day, and it's being out there. So it's very important that we have to have a very diversified portfolio to bring it out for the industry, and likewise. So not just it ends here, it's very important that what is the future when it comes to the workflows of Canon and where Canon is positioned now in the futuristic. And this is something I've seen a lot of sessions happening even in this show talking about the ACES workflow. And I think Neil also touched up during the panel yesterday a few points. So ACES is something that Canon is 100% affiliated to. So we have got affiliations with Netflix, with all our top line. And the future of the, which is, so ACES in simplified, of course, is to bring one big giant uniform format of the color space, and the dynamic range, to make it uniformity and simplified when it comes to the post-production workflows. So all cinema cameras are compatible, for this. So it's absolutely ready for mainstream cinema, OTT, music albums, your advertisements, so any application, commercial, high grade applications you talk about. So it's fully fledgedly ready, both in terms of workflows and its approvals from Netflix, a large number of cameras. Not just that, so a lot of extensions that comes from Cinema EOS interchangeable mounts. All our cameras largely now come with EF as default, its mount. There was a time when you have to go to a service center, and to get it changed if you want to position it to a PL mount. Gone are the days. Now you can straight away convert then EF to PL just with a simple 4 screws, in a little clean environment by your own, and just have an PL extended with yourself. So what is happening, what we keep on interacting with Canon companies, different part of the world, when it comes to the American region and the European region, they'll rather use EF more, because they say I don't have macros option in the other ones. I don't have a tilt and shift kind of option. We don't have macros options, all those. So it really diversifies the portfolio when you use the combination of EF and PLs, and it really expands your creative ability to do a lot of shots, which that with the standard forms of lens you couldn't do. So right from PL to EFC, and the EF mount. So entire gamut has got the ecosystem. So if you look today with EF lenses, with RF lenses, with cinema lenses, we have bounced more than 130 options in lenses, all put together. So there's the widest gamut of lenses ever available, anywhere in the world by any brand. Not just this, so EOS R system has got very, very strongly evolved over a period of time, and that's something that we are strongly working, in the compact versions of ours. This also got evolved very strongly from 18, so we are in the 5th year, so we have got a half a decade experience, not just in the cameras, but also in the lenses, from EOS R to start with RP, and then R5 and R6, that came and been very, very popular, with R3 introduction, and finally the R5C, which is the hybrid version of this segment. Also, in the short zooms, from the short zoom to the mid zooms to the various extenders, and of course the long zoom, which is largely for sports, wildlife, those applications. So it has got very, very, you name it, that what solution you need it from a camera and the lenses system, Canon has got everything today, and it is growing every week, every month. We have one or the other launch of the lenses technology. So EOS R system itself has got now more than 30 lenses, in the system. You imagine only Cinema EOS and RF, which is the new technology, largely growing over the last 3-4 years. We have already announced more than 62 lenses, in just this, in a very, very short period of time. So that really makes the opportunity and the scalability of the creative ability, and we have to also keep that web and the digital, and is the next, another very massive space. So we work on many applications with a lot of YouTube creators closely, and we get to see that. So the time is not far that we'll see the YouTube becoming itself a very massive OTT equivalent platform, and you will see a different face of it altogether. So likewise, like we mentioned about the cinema, even for the RF technology and the mirrorless cameras, you have different mounts which also marries the different lenses of EF to EF to RF, and not vice versa on the previous bodies. But this enables to use all the EF technology lenses on the RF camera bodies as well. So it's been, because as I mentioned in the beginning, we are now working in the solution system, not just products. So we have to think different applications have got different uses. So extending to that, so VR is something that Canon is the first one to take step to introduce a 180 degree 3D stereoscopic VR lens, which you do not need a stitching, and the post it can shoot right in the camera, so you can experience what kind of application have been shot at the Canon booth as well, and you will be able to see that that we have done very wonderful pieces of work, and a lot of people in industry are using these lenses in combination with R5 or R5C, have really taken up to the next level in the field of architecture, in that field of in the weddings also it has been introduced, and of course cinema is going to be a very major space that we will see along with the documentaries and wildlife. So a lot of rigs and customization is happening in this space, and VR is something that Canon is working very, very strongly as our next big move. So what all is happening at A.B.I.S show, and what is the latest stuff to see? I think that's important. R5C is been there and available. It's also important to know that what is available in terms of from a purchase perspective also. And we also introduced the Cine Servo and the Flex Zoom series. So the 8x15 in the Cine Servo, which will be available with very early 23, but the 2050, which we have also launched in this show. Please experience the Cine Flex Zoom is picking up very well, with its introduction yesterday, and the 45-135, which will be available, expected to be by end of, beginning of December or the mid of December. Along with that, we also launched the Pro DV, the ENG and documentary segments, camera like 70, 75 and 65 and 60. So 4 of them. So they have also been introduced in the booth, and you can have an experience and hands-on with these cameras as well. So very simple to keep it in a nutshell, along with the Cine Servo, the new 2 lenses are 8K in the full frame space. And they are literally dynamites if you see there. And I think a lot of people have already lined up for the demonstration post the show, that they wanted to do the field test. We will be doing it not just with the Canon bodies, but also, our counter bodies that have been used, especially from a PL lens point of view. So whether it's Venice 2, which has been introduced, or it's ARRI cameras. So this is the glass is universal. So that's why it's picking its own popularity in a very, very unique way. So that's what they are all having 2.5 kind of opening with 11-bit digraph with full frame 8K. So that is something that we have introduced. Touching only a couple of slides on the Pro DV introduction, 70 to 75. They all come in the 4K space. So they are actually, it is the upgraded version, I would say, from 50 to 55, which is translated to 70. What is important here to see is that no more you need any kind of support system, the bridging system, to do a direct streaming of any of our cameras. So the introduction of the UVC support system has made that the moment you connect a USB cable to the camera and to the computer system, whether it's laptop, workstation, your laptop turns into a webcam. So it does it, that is a technology that we have introduced. So while the traditional way can still continue to happen, but UVC, and with the USB Type-C introduction, it can take charge with 50 plus voltage to any of even it can be charged from various devices that we use it for charging our mobiles. So that's these kind of things, and OSD recording, which I will touch up in one of the very interesting feature from security, police, and those features point of view, because these cameras, right from an entry level, we have got infrared as a very, very great option, and that is very, very essential when it comes to securities, and surveillance kind of operations. So 60 and 65 are also introduction to the upgradation of 40 to 45, so which are the new version, again with the 4K space. Largely it has got features which are, so 70-75 are in the 1-inch space, sensor space, while 60-65 continues to be in the 1/3 space. Again coming with the UVC support and the USB Type-C with OSD recording function. I will just touch one or two slides to explain it. So as you can see, this is how it operates in the UVC function. So HDMI to USB converter, state plug-in, and it can do 25 PS right in the Full HD resolution. So that's how it operates. So this is what I was talking about, the OSD, that it can directly utilize it up to 600 to 800x digital zoom, because it brings in the time code, like that, and the date and time, everything, while recording the function. The workflows are uniform of all 4 cameras. It records both in XF AVC industry standard and MPEG-4. You can see the post-production software right on the on the right hand side. It is compatible whatever is running, and it is already seamless in the industry. So that's how it quickly grows. So touching up on the acknowledgements, Canon, maybe a lot of people are not aware that where we have grown up in the cinema space very largely. So right from I don't need to give any introduction on any of these projects. Cinema EOS has grown up with its excellence with all the projects of this stature over a period of time, from Need for Speeds to Avengers to Captain America, many documentaries with National Geographic, working with special projects with NASA and many other applications. So the portfolio is very diversified. Not just that, even, I don't know how many of you are aware that even for Academy Awards, right from 17, 16 and 15, majority of nomination in the non-fiction space and in some of the fiction space, they were all nomination itself were all shot on Cinema EOS. So by default, of course, it went with the Cinema EOS family on 300 and 500 respectively. Even 2019, all 5 nominations were all 100% shot on Cinema EOS system, like in 300 and 500, which finally one of them won the award. Touching up to the Indian projects, so OTT is the space where after broadcasting we are getting very fast. So the Kota Factory, which has been very popular on Netflix, Pawan Khan, very recent, which is just about to release, Zakham, Gullak series, like 1, 2 and 3, all of them, Roar of the Lion, which has been the Dhoni's project, and Bachelors, which is up and running now across the project, Mission Frontline with Sara Ali Khan, and then Farhan Akhtar at a later stage. All of these are picking at a very fast pace in the OTT space as well. Many underwater applications are C300 Mark II Admin solution. Shiddat is one of them. One of our DOPs like Sumer Verma, who is our ambassador for underwater, have been doing promising work with our cinema solutions as well. The Incredible India campaigns this year, starting from shot by Santosh Sivan, is 100% shot on C70 with RF lenses. You can see that around the booth as well, the content that has been played. And one of the very famous award-winning film, Unseen Meghalaya, 100% shot on EOS R5 with RF lenses. I'm glad that the creative producer and the concept director is sitting right here, Simran. Thanks for joining, Simran. And this has traveled the world, have won more than 22 awards and still winning. That's a great acknowledgement for us. So that's the last part of my show, and we would request, I'm not going to touch up, but we have done a very wonderful piece, because a great gentleman, Santosh Sivan, we have been glad that he is coming himself this evening at 4:45. He has got a session today, and I think he's talking on the filmmaking with minimalistic. So he'll show the wonders he has done. A final DCP out that we are now screening in various preview theater all over the country. We have covered a large part of South, and what wonders he has done with one of the greatest film, which I am not showing the film because it's a time constraint, but around the Canon booth the film is there, and maybe he want to screen it in evening, a little bit of it, but I would request to see it around the booth so that you see some true colors, and because sometimes it's a little oversaturated. We shot this film in Chalakudi, and it was a very interesting project which was shot with minimalistic, a large screen content in the minimalistic format. So this case study I think will be touched a lot in evening. So, but I'm just showing you a glimpse of some behind the scenes that we have covered. That was my last slide. Thank you. Yeah. I can show. Yeah, yes. No? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav, for the presentation. Now, I would request you to please accept a small memento in appreciation of your participation at A.B.I.S 2022 conference.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.